so many of us are going through this, but we don't see it because everyone's social media looks like what mine looked like, which was, oh my God, Bianca's doing amazing. Her life is incredible.
That compounding over time has put you in a new trajectory to where there might be areas in your life that are unfulfilled. Yes, that is okay. And it's what you do about those areas, not pretending, not doing anything about it.
Hey everybody, it's Bianca.
And it's Emilia.
Welcome to another episode of Evolve Ventures, where we are helping growth minded humans evolve by breaking one limiting belief at a time. We hope you enjoyed the last episode, number 263, Motivation Monday. It's time to make this change. For today, 264, are you making moves but still unfulfilled?
This episode came from a conversation that I was having with relationship talks coaching clients, a couple that had recently got engaged, and it was so exciting because they had been
Mm,
clients for quite some time now. So it was really cool to see their progression of their relationship and then the engagement of their relationship. So happy for them. And with that peak experience, it's palatable. Like if you've ever seen anyone get engaged or if you've ever seen anyone like graduate or have a meaningful life milestone, you really can see the energy that is like emanating from that. Be like, even like, for example, when you moved into your new apartment, right? It's like, oh, there's like a glow about you, right? Like, because
yeah.
it's such a milestone that has been achieved that there's been so much build up to, right? There's been so much anticipation for. And when I was seeing just how much the energy expansion was as a result of reflecting on our calls with that couple and just in general observation of people in those achievement zones, I call it,
Mm,
making moves within their life that really help them to expand. It got me thinking about how I also see the back end, and B, I know you see the back end of other people's lives too, which is when they're actually in that contraction zone, which is after those peak experiences, after we make those moves, whether it be moving into a new place, getting a new relationship, graduating, getting engaged, getting married, right? Like all of these different socially acceptable, I'll put it in air quotes, milestones that we're very much conditioned to celebrate.
mm,
I started wondering to myself, like, I see after those moments so much of a contraction, so much of a downside, so much of a still like reservoir of unfulfillment in people. And it got
mm,
me thinking and kind of sad just because I know that we have narratives that are really built where when we make moves in our lives, in particular, the moves that we believe other people will approve of or celebrate, we still feel unfulfilled on the other side of that. And I want to get into that conversation because I think it's a
mm.
really important conversation to reflect upon.
There's a the deepest reason, and I'm speaking from personal experience here. The deepest reason why that happens is because we're trying to use all of these things to mask how we actually feel about ourselves and about our lives. We're hoping
Mhm.
that the next thing, the next vacation, the next shopping spree, the next whatever the case may be, is going to fix how badly we feel about ourselves. And when that's not the case, it just kind of further emphasizes how badly we feel. So then we look for the next thing. Okay, no,
Oh,
it's going to
yeah.
be this thing. This is going to be the thing that finally fixes it. No. This is finally going to be the thing that makes me feel better. And you and I were talking about how in not the most recent relationship, the one before that, the like really toxic relationship that I was in, I fell so heavy into that trap. It's not even funny. Like, we got together and I was in a really transitional period of my life because you and I had just started the Y Power podcast and COVID was happening and we were quarantined for a while. And it
Mhm.
was just a really not great time. And I had also just started my master's program. And then all of a sudden it all became remote and it was a lot. It was a lot. And I got into this
B, not to
relationship.
mention, sorry to interrupt you really quick, but not to mention, like, there was a whole move out of your household, your
Yeah.
family, like, like that was one of the biggest things that just we just overlooked that. That was a
Yeah.
really big impact on
Thank
you,
you
you
for
know?
saying that. Yeah, me coming out to my family and, things getting so bad at home that I had to leave. All of these things compounded with each other. I felt so dysregulated. I didn't know left from right, up from down. And I was just trying to put one foot in front of the other because we were building our organization. We were like right at the beginning. And I don't think we had the team yet. I think we had one team member at that point and we were
Yeah.
trying to figure everything out. But so I'm trying to make it through these things. And because of the like chaos of everything, I didn't realize how bad my relationship was until everything settled
Yeah.
down. And then it was this massive smack in the face of, oh my God, this is really bad. Things are really bad. But I was so ashamed and in so much guilt, and I felt so helpless and hopeless to get out of all of it that I didn't work on the real problem, which was get the hell out of this relationship and figure it out because I didn't want to have to deal with everyone telling me they told me so. And the shame of I hurt my relationships because of this with my friends and with just so many other things that I was like, okay, I'm going to try to fix this on my own. I'm going to try to fix everything. And I'm also going to try to make myself feel better. So, what did we do to try to fix the relationship? We were looking into buying a house. We were looking into getting engaged, which honestly, thank the hell God that we didn't. But, anyways, that's a
Oh
different
my God, I'm
conversation. Oh my
having
God.
slight PTSD
Ugh.
right now.
I'm having like
Oh.
heart palpitations. Like, thank
I
God.
remember you and I had a conversation, B, and you were like, "Oh, oh my God, it was so." We had so many different conversations.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
I was
Hindsight's
like, and
2020.
can I, yeah, can I just, I want to inject with like my perspective a little bit on this. It was like, I, this was a unique situation where like I've had a
Oh my
beautiful,
God.
intimate lens into all of this. And I was over here seeing how unfulfilled Bianca was. And I was
Oh
like,
my God.
please don't sign up for this for life. You will be so unfulfilled. Please don't get a dog. You will. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, it was, yeah. Okay.
Oh my God. So I fell hard into the trap. And we were looking into houses. We didn't end up getting a house, but we moved into a new place. And then we got Gia. And
Mhm.
then I got a new car. She got a new car. It was a whole thing. And we're sitting here thinking, no, 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 this is fixing everything. We're leveling up. We're getting better. Look at our lives. Everything on the outside looks amazing. My social media was on fire. It was a whole thing. And I was so miserable.
Yeah.
I felt so alone. I felt like I was destroying my life and I had no way to get out of it. I felt so stuck.
Mhm.
And so Many of us are going through this, but we don't see it because everyone's social media looks like what mine looked like, which was, oh my God, Bianca's doing amazing. Her life is incredible. She's getting a house and they got a dog and the new cars and all this stuff. And deep down, I was miserable. Behind the scenes, I was miserable. And every single one of my clients are going through this. They only tell me because it's safe to tell me. I know you go
Mhm.
through the same thing. I know so many
Mhm.
friends going through this. I know so many family members going through this. We all get sucked into this trap. The reason we are so passionate in this episode is because we want everyone to do what it took for me to get out of it. Because I can say with an M, please call me out if you think that I'm full of it right now.
Mhm.
I'm the most fulfilled and the most aligned I have ever been in my entire life. Are there things I still need to work on? Absolutely. Am I the
Mhm.
happiest I've ever been? No, but I'm working on it. And that's the
Mhm.
difference. I'm I've spent the last when did I get out of that relationship? What year is it? It's almost 3 years. Yeah, it's been almost 3 years. I've spent the last 3 years really looking in the mirror of why did I make the choices that I made in that moment? Why was
Mhm.
it so easy for me to try to fill my life with all of these externals instead of doing the deep work? And the answer is simple because it's hard. It's hard and it's painful. And when you actually have to look at your choices for what they really are, I'd rather get hit in the face by Emilia's hook. Like real talk. And she has a nasty hook. I'd rather get hit in the
That's so
face by
funny.
Emilia than actually have to deal with the emotional pain of looking at your choices because it's hard.
Mhm.
But I had to. I had
Same.
to because I saw the impact it was having on Emilia and I's relationship, on my relationship with Alan. I cut out so many of my friends. I cut out my family. And they
Mhm.
all were like, "What are you doing? We're here. We want to work on this with you. What are you doing?" But it was
Yeah.
easier to do that than it was to do the really hard choice of actually looking at what's actually missing that I'm trying to fill all of these things with. That is what we're hoping that at the end of this episode, every single one of you listening to this will finally start doing or improve on if
Mhm.
you're already doing it. Guys, it is really, really hard. It is. I'm speaking from experience. It is so hard letting go of all of these things and wiping everything down and staring bluntly at yourself in the mirror, having to look at what's actually happening. Take away social
Mhm.
media, take away all of the externals, take away all of the things that I'm using to fill my perception of myself. Look in the mirror. Do I actually love myself? Am
Mhm.
I actually happy and fulfilled? What's missing? What's really missing? And then doing the work to get that. That's what I did. And that's what I've been doing for the last 3 years and what I will continue to do for the rest of my life because I don't want to be a person who just looks the part. I want to actually be happy, actually be fulfilled, actually have an amazing quality of life and purpose and contribution and all of these amazing things. And I can't do that if I'm avoiding what's really going on and filling it with all of these externals, which is what so many of us are doing. And it's why we're so unfulfilled.
Mhm. It's so true, and I'm so grateful for your vulnerability.
I'm grateful that we can talk about it now because I couldn't
I'm
talk about it
saying
when I was in it. I was too ashamed.
Hello, my name is Bree, and I'm head of Evolve Ventures Media and Energies. So I would say my experience at Evolve has been absolutely amazing. I have learned and grown and done so many things that I didn't imagine that I'd be doing just over a year ago. So I'm really happy to be a part of the team, and I encourage anyone who has the opportunity to join. Yeah, so this is an experience that I don't think I would have gotten anywhere else. So it's definitely unique, and there's so many like-minded people, whether it's on the team or in our community, that can be by your side and support you. So that is an awesome experience.
Well, that's the thing. That's the highlighting the reality that you've been able to struggle and you've been able to move through it and you've been able to take the ownership and responsibility for it to where there will be struggles in the future, no doubt. Everyone will have that, but it's how you handle those struggles and the challenges, the narratives that you choose to listen to and to pull you through those and pull you out of it. And also the inner dialogues that you start to cultivate, the parts that you start to recognize that were so unfulfilled and so neglected and so unseen, unheard, unvalued, that you can then start to kind of make progress in the next chapter. And I've been able to bear witness to that transformation, that evolution, and it's been a really beautiful thing. And I think
Mm,
that your commitment to yourself and constantly having progress in that arena has been a really beautiful progression. And that is what I wish, you know, I see the unfulfillment and I have such an observation lens on when it comes to the role that I play in society, in terms of like
mm,
having the behind the scenes looks of people's beautiful, messy, and chaotic lives. Um, because I think that I know we have such a conditioned narrative to make it seem like we're all put together, and that's just never the case. That's not real. And when we have that unconscious narrative shoved down our throats all the time, it's like we as human beings go through life unseen, unheard, and undervalued. And I think the compound effect of that experience as a human, when we're not seen, when we're not heard, and when we're not valued by everyone else that means a lot to us and ourselves, the compound
mm.
effect of that ends up being shown in our behaviors. That's why consumer behavior was always such an interesting study to me in college, because you realize like the investments that people are making, a lot of that is to fill that gap. Like
Yeah.
new dress before you go out, a new car before you go on a date, like a new, right? Like, whereas like I'm over here like, what can I get on secondhand at Salvation Army? Like reduce, reuse, recycle, man, like the hippie in me, right? But anyways, what I'm saying is that I really, this is my hypothesis, and I plenty of evidence to support this, but it's not about the evidence. It's about the fact that there are real lives underneath this evidence and how we can either contribute to this stat, these numbers of people who are unfulfilled, or we can have the courage to lean into what you just explained, B, which was you made moves and you were still unfulfilled even in that aftermath. And the pain of looking at that unfulfillment is what was challenging, but that's what brought meaning to your life because of the lessons that
Yeah.
you took away from it, because of the honesty that you had in yourself to really see yourself, to hear yourself, and to value yourself. And as a result of that compounding over time has put you in a new trajectory to where there might be areas in your life that are unfulfilled. Yes, that is okay. And it's what you do about those areas, not pretending, not doing anything about it, not going in and, buying yourself all of a sudden a new car or a new this or whatever, just to hope to get to that next layer of fulfillment, because
Yeah.
that is a slippery slope and it degrades faster than freaking sand running through your fingers when you have water, right? Like it's an unwinnable game.
Let's be really blunt for a second. Think about how many celebrities in the news that we have heard of who have taken their lives because of this exact thing. They look like they have it all. They look like they have it
Mm-hmm.
all. They have money, they have fame, they have notoriety, they have success, achievement, a family that loves them, all of these things. And they're either addicted to substances, in and out of rehab, or they end up taking their lives.
Yeah.
It is the uncomfortable truth that I think a lot of us don't want to face, which is it can lead to that. It can. So many of my clients are going through that too. Everything looks great on the outside, but when nobody's there, what's the
Mm-hmm.
truth? The truth is, most people are absolutely miserable. And we're hoping to really be a change in that, because you're better off looking like you have nothing and actually being happy than the
Yeah.
opposite.
It's so true, Bea. Honestly, Alan and I were having a really vulnerable dialogue after we had watched The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1 last night. And Plutarch, who's the main character, the game maker, Alan was like, "Did you know that he overdosed? He died at the age of 46." I was like, "No, I didn't know that."
The actor?
His Yeah, Philip Seymour Hoffman, an incredible actor. Incredible. And to your point, there are so many people that have those quote unquote life moves, and they have everything that we believe links back to fulfillment. Even that one of the most talented, versatile actors of all time, and one could argue of his generation, he died of a drug overdose at
Robin
46
Williams.
in New York City. Mm-hmm.
Think about Robin Williams, same exact thing. Robin Williams was one of the most like beloved actors ever.
Absolutely.
Everybody knows his
Yeah.
name. He did
Yep.
every single thing he ever dreamed of, and he was
Yeah.
addicted to drugs his entire career and ended up completing suicide.
Yeah. It's so here's as we bring this brutal truth to all of us, because I think that there's a beautiful truth in every single brutal truth. I really believe that with my whole heart. And it's because of that belief that has allowed me to see the beautiful truth within every single brutal truth. What we can do, and this is what I want to close on my end, the final takeaway. What we can do is hear ourselves, those cries, the inner needs, the challenges when we're struggling. Listen to that. We can
Mm,
see where we're unfulfilled. Don't look away. Where you're unfulfilled, do not look away. And we can value the parts of us that are most meaningful, that bring us the most meaning. If we start to shift more of our control at looking at what is within our control and seeing, hearing, and valuing ourselves more, we seek that less from everyone else. And I do believe that the compound effect of that is what will bring from the inside out the fulfillment that we all seek, but yet get so brainwashed into what actually makes that possible. And I know that because I've
100%.
lived it. I'm living it right now, and I can speak from experience in that regard. Do I have tough days? Absolutely. Are there areas in my life that I'm unfulfilled? Yes, but I'm not looking away. I'm not seeing that. I'm not hearing that, and I'm not taking action to make that gap close from the inside out. And I think that all of us can start to work on a baby step towards that, really starting with ourselves. So that's my final takeaway for every one of our listeners. I love how real we keep it. And episode suggestion for me is 238. Do you want to feel more empowered? Bea,
Mm.
over to you.
There's always going to be more that we can chase. Always. If you're alive, there's more you can do, there's more you can be, there's more you can have. And that's a beautiful thing. But what are you sacrificing? What parts of yourself are you destroying in order to get that? Are you chasing those things in a way that is really aligned for you and with the person that you want to be? For me, the answer was no, I wasn't. And today I can say that I am. Again, am I perfect? No. Do I still want my Jeep? My decked out Jeep Wrangler? Hell yeah. But is that really going to make that much of a difference in my life and how I see myself? No, it's not. And I know that. So I still struggle with this too, still working on it. But that's the point. I am working on it. And all of you can too. My episode suggestion is 236, How to Live a Life You Love. If this is something that you are struggling with, if you know deep down in your heart that you need help with this because you are unfulfilled and you're tired of it, we have so many resources at your disposal. And one of the newest ones that we are on, that we are newly launched is the Evolve You Do You program. It is a completely online virtual therapy and coaching program that is tailored to you. It meets you where you are, and it makes it so that you're not super accountable to a schedule. You don't have to be somewhere. It's not something you have to take time out of your day to do. It's there when you need it and when you want it. If that's something that you're interested in, please DM us. We already have people who have signed up for it, and they've told us how much they love it and how much like this was exactly what they needed. So if this is you, please DM us or go to evolveventurestech.com/therapy, and all of the information is there.
This was such a meaningful episode to me. I'm really glad that we talked
Same.
about this. So thank you for your vulnerability, Bee. Also, for our listeners, thank you for your vulnerability and getting into that with us. Because for sure, if you're listening to us and still listening at this point, you have been through the roller coaster of the feels of this episode because you have likely experienced all of this. This is what we call a life with us. So we're grateful to be a part of your evolutionary journey. And, you know, it's these conversations that really make a big difference. So we're grateful that you joined us today. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.